What's up guys, Beverage here, and today we have a bit of a treat. This is a custom Patreon request. I want to give a huge shout out to Leah on the Patreon. I hope I'm saying that right. I think I'm saying that right. Leah requested that I check out Niall Horan. Of course she had to make sure that I hadn't seen it before, because it's fair to assume that I've seen everything from 1D. But this I hadn't, because it's him and Capaldi covering a Katy Perry song. A pretty interesting combination of three things there. Now, I'm not familiar with Katy Perry really, aside from her massive hits that she has. I definitely know this song. Just from the title, I'm pretty sure I know what this song is. I Kissed a Girl, and I guess I would have to hear the other ones to know them. But yeah, I've never really dived into Katy Perry. If that's something that you want me to check out, let me know. Capaldi, I did check out him sing, I believe it was Before You Go, live. It was one of those like at home COVID performances, and the dude blew me away. Oh my gosh, that was like I had goosebumps for like a whole week after checking that out. So I definitely, Capaldi is someone I do have plans to get more into. I know he has one album, and I do plan on doing that on the channel at some point, after I catch up on a couple of the other albums that I still need to catch up on. But yeah, I'm really excited to check this out. Obviously, anything with Niall, I'm all in on. We're doing One Direction, the TV special, and 1D Day on my Patreon if you want to check that out. But because I hadn't seen those somehow, some way. Before you ask, I have seen the San Siro tour. I've seen that like so many times, and I have seen the This Is Us movie. So I was lucky enough to even find that stuff that I hadn't seen. But yeah, let's jump into this. Again, thank you so much, Leah, for all the support. And thank you for this request, because this is really super exciting to check out these two. After I checked out the Before You Go performance, was really funny, because I was so thrown off by the fact that Lewis had like a Niall cutout in his, I guess that's his bedroom. I don't know, or whatever it was. But I didn't realize he was such a funny guy. I do want to check out more of like his, you guys like left so many comments on that video about how they're such close friends, and they have like friendship videos and stuff. So I need to check out more of that stuff too. But yeah, we have two of the most talented men walking this earth right now, so let's check them out.
Whole white world. Lewis Capaldi.
So wait, but this is Jingle Ball, I think, right? This isn't Niall on tour. Yeah. Yeah, it's Jingle Ball. Because I had tickets to see Niall on the Heartbreak Weather tour, and I remember Lewis Capaldi was the opener for the show. I was supposed to go, and it was North America tour, and I remember not knowing anything about Lewis Capaldi. Oftentimes, you don't really know too much about, unless you just happen to be a big fan of the person. You don't know too much about the openers for a lot of those shows, which is always so cool, because you get to see someone for the first time and just see how talented these people are that deserve the exposure. And I've always thought it was so awesome that the 1D boys in particular, and Harry Styles is so good at this, giving exposure to those artists on his tours, as far as who opens for him. But I remember seeing Lewis Capaldi's name on my ticket for Niall, and being like, yeah, this is probably going to be great, because, again, the boys are just so good at giving exposure to these artists. But yeah, the point was, I'm really sad that I didn't get to see Niall, and I hope the next year I have the opportunity to do so. I'll be all over that. But I was wondering if this was on the tour, but then I just remembered that the tour got canceled. So this is before that, I guess.
Lewis Capaldi, everyone. Are you nervous? Me too. We practiced
Lewis is giving me the Ed Sheeran vibes with just like the t-shirt and the guitar. Gotta love that.
this in the bathroom. We need to do a sound check, so God knows what happens in the next 3 minutes.
You can already see how comfortable Niall is. He's just kind of being jokey with Lewis on stage, so you can tell the friendship is very legitimate.
1, 2, 3. You think I'm pretty without any makeup on. You think I'm funny.
What the fuck?
Not to the punchline wrong. I know you got me. So now let my walls come down, down.
Oh my gosh, Niall. Niall, I may have said this before. I'm not sure. I think I have. It might be like on videos or just on the Patreon. But Niall, in my opinion, Niall had the best vocal growth out of all the boys. When you go back to him on the first, like the Up All Night and Take Me Home, and you go album by album, and then finally when you get to Made in the AM, where I feel like he really busted out as far as his potential goes. But then you get to his solo projects, and Flicker, I start to get even more blown away. But I'm like, who is this boy? And then Heartbreak Weather was the ultimate evolution for me as far as his vocals, where he is just all over the place on that album with these incredible power vocals and these consistent falsetto vocals and these high in his head voice vocals, and the soft and tender vocals that became so classic on the Flicker album. He gave us some of those on Heartbreak Weather, but for the most part, it was a lot of really strong, aggressive vocals on that album, and just the point is there were so many different levels of his vocals on Heartbreak Weather that I was so blown away by. And one thing with him is he is exactly the same live. He does so many of these little performances like from home throughout 2020 that he's done, where he'll be sitting like with just his guitar in his home or on his rooftop or whatever, and he sounds so good. Like, or the James Corden performances where I think he did Black and White. Dear Patience is my personal favorite song from Niall, and I think he did that on Corden too. I think that was one of the rooftop ones maybe. But the point is that his voice is just so good, and I think he's just so under. I don't want to go on another Grammys rant, but I don't think Heartbreak Weather got the attention it deserved outside of the fan base, because it was just the album is. I can't say enough how flawless that album is, and I can go on a full 15-minute analytical dive into that album. I really truly could, lyrically and musically and vocally, and all the fact that he has I think there's like 11 songs or 12 songs in that album, and he has 12 perfect bridges. You know how hard it is to make a perfect bridge in a song, and he somehow manages to have the perfect bridge on every single song. There's just so many. I'm completely just getting lost in my admiration for Niall Horan right now, and he's incredible. He's an incredible artist. Also, I do remember, it just hit me now that Katy Perry was the one on his audition that I think she said no, or did she say yes? No, she said yes, but she was hesitant, I believe, and that's super ironic now that he's covering this song.
Before you met me, I was aware of things we got ahead. You brought me to life now, every February. You'll be my Valentine.
Oh, I like that human low.
Awake tonight, no regrets. And just became this until we die. You and I will be young forever. You make me feel like a million.
Oh! I mean, Niall certainly has some experience harmonizing. That sounds so good the way, because Lewis has that naturally dick up. I should leave that in. I should edit that out, but I might leave that in. Lewis has that naturally deep, thick voice. And Niall is like backing him up with the higher leveled harmony. He's hitting the higher note in the harmony. And it sounds so good. The two of them sound so good. I could have never thought that I would have needed this in my life. Like, I need a recorded version of this in my life.
can't sleep. It's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back. My heart stops when you look at me, just what says. Now baby, I believe this, it's real. Let's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, got drunk on the beach, got a motel, built a floor out of jeans to find it. Mommy's suburbs and the peace.
Oh, I love the gentle vocals.
The way tonight, no regrets, just so we can dance until we die, when we die, we'll be young forever. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. It's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back.
They are killing this chorus again. The thick, deep vocal from Lewis. Their combination is perfect. I've always said that Niall on features, he's only done female features. Yeah, he's definitely done female features. And his female features are some of my favorite songs that he's ever done. The one with Maren Morris, and then the one with Julia Michaels, and then the one with Ash. Those three songs are three of my favorite Niall songs that he's ever made. I know the Ash one is of him featured on it. But it's just Niall with someone else. I don't know what it is that just makes it so good. And hearing him now I think it's the first time I've ever heard him sing with just one other person. I think it just might be something he's just really good at balancing himself vocally with someone else. Because now I need a Niall Horan and Lewis Capaldi feature, and I don't know if that'll ever happen, and it makes me a little sad.
My heart stops when you look at me, just what says. Now baby, I believe this is real. Let's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back. I'ma get you up racing in my skin tight jeans. Be a teenage dream tonight. To wish your hands on me.
I love the violin touch. Niall's music classically has so much violin and strings in it, and I love that he put that personal touch in the cover here.
If that's what you're living, tonight.
Lewis. That's right.
Make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, I can't sleep. Let's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back. My heart stops when you look at me, just what says. Now baby, I believe this is real. Let's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back. You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you turn me on, let's run away, don't ever look back, don't ever look back. You think you're pretty without any makeup on. You think you're further, and I'll tell the birds that I'm on.
I can't stress enough how good he sounds right here. It's just so tender and full at the same time.
Without any makeup on, you think you're further, and I'll tell the birds that I'm on. You know you got me, some early the walls come down.
Ooh!
Come down.
So So Lewis is clearly a weakness for Niall and his funny bone. I'm so happy. Thank you so much, Leah, for this request. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you so much. This was so nice. This was so fantastic to check out. Love Niall with all my heart. I need to check out more of Lewis Capaldi so much. It's a crying shame that I've only seen the one performance from him on this channel. I need to do more of him. And imagine going to this Jingle Ball. Obviously, there's so many different artists that perform at those things. But imagine going to it and maybe having in mind, maybe going. Usually, you go because you're a fan of at least a couple of the artists that are there. So imagine going and being a fan of Niall, maybe being a fan of Lewis, and then I assume this was a surprise. They just come out and do this. Well, Niall was already up there, so he just brings Lewis out, and then they add this to the set. And just imagine how exciting that is. And even if you're like a fan of just one of them, or not even a fan of either of them, you went for someone else, but they come out, and maybe you were a fan of Katy Perry, and then they come out and do that cover. It's just so nice of them, honestly, to give that to the fans who spent their hard-earned money on coming out to that show and seeing multiple artists. So I think that's so cool that they did that, and they killed it. And I legitimately really hope that Niall does a feature one day with a male artist, and whether it's Ed Sheeran or, I mean, obviously he's already shown that he can kill it with Lewis. So if it's Lewis Capaldi, hopefully that's a real thing. That would be absolutely wonderful. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, all the love to you. I appreciate you. See you next time.